You're tuned in to Nerd Overload, your weekly show for video games, movies, TV shows, comics, tech news, and more. Now your hosts, Cody Pennick, Samantha Cross, Sam Dunham, and Josh Harrison.
Hi, hello. Thank you for coming to this press conference. I'm here because I've said some things that may have been misconstrued. I've made some disparaging remarks about Super Mario Kart 64, and I'm here to apologize for them. I quote-unquote said it was the worst Mario Kart game that there is, and I'm being told that that is incorrect.
And also, how dare.
And how dare. Yeah, no further questions. Welcome to Nerd Overload, the pop and geek culture show where we say our unpopular opinions out loud. I'm Cody.
I'm Sam.
I'm Josh.
Oh boy, we have a great show for you this week. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, we have a bunch of news to go over, but first, let's talk about some things we've been checking out for the week.
I feel like we say our unpopular opinions out loud is a pretty good catchline for the show.
That seems to be, yeah, I mean, that's just us in general, but definitely this show.
Yeah. Especially when I get on a rant about movies to people who don't know crud about movies.
Comics, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a lot of bad opinions about comics. That's okay.
No, it's okay. Like, I'll be at work and somebody's like, hey, I like that movie. And I'm like, no, I'm going to tell you exactly. Here's a bulleted list on why that movie is garbage.
All right. So, hey, anyway, let's get into some things we've been checking out. I haven't checked anything out really of note other than I've been playing a lot of Smash Brothers, and it's still very good.
Yeah, still a good game.
Yep.
It's not going to stop being a good game, I would hope.
That seal's still fresh.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That seal of approval. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of the Spirit board, like the challenge mode kind of stuff. I didn't think I was going to get into it because I'm not usually into that kind of stuff. But it's been scratching a really certain kind of itch for me. I don't know why. There's about 1,300 of those like Spirit, glossy, sweet
Stickers.
JPEGs.
Yeah.
And I have over 1,100 of them. I'm about 150 away from getting them all.
Gotta catch 'em all.
Until they drop a whole bunch of new ones, which they will do.
But that's fine. That means I'll keep coming back to it. It's an evergreen kind of thing. But I'm not usually that kind of guy. But it's like, it's doing it for me.
I'll tell you some evergreen that makes me a little sad is they're officially stopped doing stuff for Splatoon.
Yeah. It's done.
Which
is a shame. It's still a great game, and I think they're still going to do Splatfests.
Oh, yeah.
Actually.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
That's a shame.
Well, they don't know exactly for sure, but they might start recycling them. I don't know.
I'd be okay with them cycling them. It's been long enough, especially if they go back to the first Splatoon and start cycling some of those
themes.
And do that again. Because that's been, at this point, 3 or 4 years since the first Splatfest on the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so...
That expansion is so good, too, the Octo expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you have Splatoon 2 and you haven't picked that up...
it's so rough.
Yeah, you're doing yourself a great disservice and missing out on some really good content.
Yeah, I started it. I haven't played too far into it, but it is very good.
And the ending is really... The last boss and the ending is really cool. And,
cool.
And really worth it.
Awesome.
Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack your
No,
segue,
it's cool. I'm done with my check it outs. I didn't do a whole lot this week. Go guys.
Let's
do
see
the
here.
thing.
I played a bunch of Splatoon for the first time in a long time.
Cool.
And I forgot how not good I am at it.
The game was humbling because you go into it thinking, oh, this is just a kid's game where you shoot the paint, and then you get beat a whole lot, and you go, oh.
I mean, I was good there for a minute, and then I got rusty. Like there for a second, I was like, wait a minute, how to do the thing? How to do the one thing? Crud.
What is the shoot button and what is the squid button?
Am I a squid or am I a kid? I don't even know anymore.
You're neither.
Should I be a squid or a kid now? I don't know.
But I played a lot of it because they had a Splatfest this weekend, which was...
What was it?
Friends versus Family.
Friends versus Family? Which one won?
Friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is good because my girl was back in Friends.
Ah, cool.
Wait, which one's your favorite?
Marina. The good squid girl or Octo girl. I don't like the little gremlin. I don't care.
That's why I like her. She's a cute little gremlin monster.
The little monster. She's a little monster child.
Should we explain what we're talking about?
So the hosts of the maps rotations and everything are just like in the first platoon, a couple of musicians, but instead of sisters, they're friends.
They're bandmates.
Yeah, bandmates. Yeah.
And one is a little squid girl named Pearl, who is the devil. I'm just gonna put that out there. She's a little devil monster.
Yeah, that's why she's cool.
And then there's
she's a little brat child.
And then there's sweet little Marina.
The right choice.
Yes, because she's on the right side of the screen.
Who has not a whole lot of personality, really.
Very true. Outside of being shy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
true.
being good at computers.
Well, more of her personality comes out in the Octoling stuff.
Yeah, in the expansion, that's true. But
anyway, which the colors were gold and silver.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like they were like kind of a whitish and marigold inks with sparkles in them.
That's cool.
Oh, that's pretty
cool.
It
actually looked pretty good.
It was a lot better than when it was ketchup and mayonnaise.
Oh, man, that was rough.
Yeah, it looked gross.
We still make jokes about it.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Honestly, I haven't played it.
Without elaborating, it was just gross looking.
Because every Splatfest has color choices depending on what side you are, and that one was unfortunate.
Either side. Either side was gross
bad.
looking.
Yeah, it's just bad.
But anyway, I haven't played every Splatfest. There were a few that I missed. Like there was a Ninja Turtle one, a couple of Ninja Turtle ones I missed.
I wish they let you keep the T-shirts.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Because every time there is one, you get a T-shirt with whatever it is that
the logo
you're supporting on it. It would be cool to have. Like there was a Transformers.
Yeah, I was just going to say the
game.
Decepticon shirt would be pretty rad to have them in game.
But the thing is, with the shirts, their whole purpose is to farm chunks to upgrade the abilities on your gear and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they give them to you before the actual Splatfest starts.
Yep. Anyway, I played a lot of that. And then I got into a whole night of Salmon Run, which is the horde mode.
That's very fun.
It is fun unless you get some really inept people.
Oh yeah, it sucks to play with randos because they're always bad.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I'm playing with some friends and we're on chat and then we had to fill a spot and some rando guy joins our thing and he's on the other side of the stage or whatever doing who knows whatever, getting killed. I'm like,
because it's probably an 8-year-old.
I'm like, I'm not reviving him. He can just stay over there. We're doing fine over here.
Is it harder to find matches and stuff now that you have to pay for online, or is it still good?
No, it's still fine.
Because I was kind of worried about that when the Nintendo Online went pay for, if it was going to wreck the communities.
No, it's all right.
Especially since so many other players are going to be kids.
Oh, yeah.
That, are going to have a hard time convincing their parents that they should pay monthly for online service.
Nope, it was fine. It's fine. It's still very you get matches and stuff very quickly. I mean, disconnects are still a bad thing, but that's the thing since the game started.
Yeah, well, that's just Nintendo being inept.
It's Nintendo, yeah.
I played a lot of that.
Have either of you played any online Smash at all?
I'm afraid to.
I only did it once, and it was unbearable.
Really?
But that was back when it was brand new. I haven't tried it since then. I don't know if it's better or not.
I haven't heard anything about updating their servers.
You play it through handheld mode, though, don't you?
Yeah.
I would say hook your stuff up to a wired connection instead of a wireless connection, but like I said, you play it in the handheld mode.
It was like a slideshow.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah.
That is rough.
I thought I was good at Smash, and then I played with Elswick's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But then I found out Isabel can do some things I didn't realize she could do.
Oh, her fishing rod is
ridiculous.
Super good.
It's like a throw you can use across the room.
Yeah, it's great.
It pocketed my down B on Pikachu.
Yeah. Oh, I think
the electric arc. Is that what his down B is?
No, the Thunderbolt.
Wow,
that's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played it with my brother on New Year's, and I got thoroughly trounced.
My little sister got way better at Halo than me when we were younger. And then she started going to Halo cafes and coming back and schooling me. I'm like, what is with this world right now?
How long were you at Mr. Ego's?
That's where she was going.
Yeah, sure.
Man, I miss Mr. Ego's.
I loved that place. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a huge Halo fan, but I always had a good time there.
Yeah.
It's a shame that they don't exist anymore.
No, not really.
Yeah.
I love gaming cafes. I wish I wish the trend would have stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said stuck. That's weird.
Closest thing we have now is barcades, which are pretty great too.
They're pretty great.
Hey,
Sure,
I'm super
sure.
excited about that 16-bit open up over there in Dublin.
It is open, yeah.
It's open
Yeah.
now.
I know. I drove. I was like, ooh, man, that's good. That's good stuff.
That's a much better 45-minute drive compared to the solid hour and something it takes to get to the
one downtown.
It's it's way deep down in there in Columbus.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's like 2-3 streets over from the convention center,
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
and then like 2 miles south.
Mm.
But yeah, I've made that walk a bunch.
I'm kind of disappointed I missed OhioCon this year. Or I'm going to miss OhioCon this
Oh,
year. I think
that's
it's
this-
next.
That's this weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming this weekend now, currently.
Yeah, I got to work, so there's no way I'm going. But it would have been fun.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
We don't like anime.
I don't. I mean, I like going to cons and I like seeing. I like it when I'm around people that are enthused about things, and cons are a great place for that.
Oh, yeah.
But I just nah.
I don't want to rub elbows with all those weebs.
Well, it's not even that. It's not feeling it this weekend. Just not feeling it.
Plus, the weather potentially could
there's-
get really
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, that's
Although
the big thing.
I've driven to OhioCon in much worse.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Sam, I remember our Wizard World where we went to Cleveland
Where
in a,
we
in a
walked
blizzard.
We
Yeah.
walked in a blizzard in costume with no coats because we're very smart.
At least my coat was thick.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh man, good times.
OhioCon isn't one of my favorites though either.
Yeah. No,
Not to put it on blast on the show, but it doesn't seem as well. Last year's was really well done, I thought.
okay.
At least better than some other ones. So their organization didn't seem as good as some other cons I've been to, but
Yeah, it's all local people.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, which is better than a super corporate Wizard World
Well, you're not wrong there.
Yeah,
where they're all the same cookie cutter con.
that is the thing with Wizard World cons. That you walk into one and you know exactly where everything is because it's the exact same con no matter where you go.
Which that's great if you're going to a Walmart,
Sure.
to know where everything is. But if you go to a con, you want to explore it.
Wizard World is a great first con.
Yeah,
If you've never been and you want to experience a comic convention for the first time or a pop culture convention because there's no comic.
Don't call it a comic convention.
It's just a pop culture convention. Wizard World is a great starter.
and they get good guests.
Yeah, they do.
Because they have the money to throw around.
Yeah,
So,
and you're paying for that ticket.
yeah, you're not gonna see Jason Momoa anywhere else
Yeah.
Unless you go to like the Comic Con.
unless you go to like the ocean.
Jeez. Oh,
Get it
man.
because he's Aquaman.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of cons, there's I've actually kind of gotten into the idea of going to a bunch of like little tiny like basically one big dealer room like the old school.
Some of
style
those are fun. You can find good stuff there.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, the Buckeye Comic Con is coming up here in a couple months, and I'm actually kind of excited to go to it because it's just one giant dealer room.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
be down for
and
that.
with like very minimal like cosplay or like almost no celebrities or anything. You just go and you look at stuff. It's almost like a flea market,
yeah.
but it's in a hotel lobby, basically.
Instead of a dirty tent or
Mm-hmm.
something.
I mean, that's where I picked up a bunch of 90s era Spider-Man comics.
Oh yeah, half the junk in my house is from some of that stuff. Speaking of which, do you remember the pre-Wizard World back when it was Mid-Ohio Con?
Yeah, I don't think I ever went to one before it was bought out by Wizard World.
I think
Ron Powelson and I went to the last Mid-Ohio Con before they were bought out by Wizard, and it was at a Hyatt instead of the Greater Columbus Convention Center, and it was the best time
Nice.
because they basically took over like most of the ground floor of the hotel, and like all the rooms
Yeah.
were like different, panel areas and stuff. The comic writer legend Peter David made fun of me for standing in line for his line during that con, and it was great.
Man.
Staying at a con is an experience too.
It
Because
is.
I stayed
Yep.
at OhioCon last time,
Mhm.
and it gets buck wild in there at night.
Oh yeah, I know.
I mean, yeah, I work Origins every year.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you would know for sure.
There is Origins After Dark.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to play Werewolf till 4:00 in the morning with a bunch of randos.
I've heard. I don't know from experience, but I've heard like Evo like gets real crazy after, and like Magfest and stuff like that. Like it just gets wild.
I wish I had the money and the time to check out some of the bigger like super specific cons.
Oh yeah,
Like-
Power Morphicon would be awesome.
Like Power Morphicon,
Mhm.
BotCon. I would
BotCon
love to go to a BotCon.
BotCon would be pretty cool. Once,
Sure.
sure.
That's Transformers.
Transformers,
It-
yeah.
Sorry, it took me a minute.
Heck, there's one for gargoyles. Like I didn't people
Really?
realize, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't realize people still cared about
That's
gargoyles.
hyper specific. Nah, Gargoyles is great,
I
man.
Oh no, it is. I love it. It's one of my favorite that era of like Disney animation.
I thought you were gonna say Garfield.
There's a Garfield-Con.
Is there?
There's a Garfield-Con.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you assuming that, or do you know that for a fact?
Listen, I followed Chip Zdarsky on Twitter. There is a
Oh.
Garfield-Con.
I'll bet they
Believe
don't.
me.
I'll bet they don't hold it on a Monday.
I guarantee you they don't. The worst day of the week.
I mean that one robot figure you should says I have Mondays.
Oh yes, yes. Mobile Suit Garfield. I have Mondays.
Oh man, that poor Optimus figure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's something else I did.
Okay.
I went and I rewatched the Machinima Prime trilogy animated series, where it was it's more kind of based more off the comics.
Okay. Sure.
But there's like 3 separate series that are part of this Prime Wars trilogy for Transformers. But yeah, it's not bad. It's a CG animated Transformers series. Takes place completely on Cybertron. No people, just Transformers.
The way it should be,
Right?
as God intended.
God intended.
Or Unicron or Primus or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the weird ancillary Transformers religions go.
Yes, I love Primus.
Primus. Yeah, I was gonna say they did.
Jerry was a race car driver.
Uh-huh,
Yeah,
uh-huh.
great song.
Yep.
They did an album of Willy Wonka songs from Willy Wonka not too long ago. I thought that was pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, very Primus.
But yeah, it was bad. There's like maybe one actual celebrity voice in there, and that's Mark Hamill.
Oh, cool.
He plays a Transformer god guy in the final arc named Megatronus. Yeah, I tell you, going back and like Transformer names are weird.
Oh, they're all terrible.
After they started off being like, okay, these are actual words, and by the end, it's just like we're gonna put something us in
Megatraumatronicus.
Harmonicus.
Megatrombonicus.
Megatrombonicus.
I'm just imagining Megatron with a giant trombone gun on his arm.
I'm imagining Megatron turning into a giant trombone that Starscream uses.
Now I am king of the marching band.
Follow my tune, Autobots.
Well,
Oh,
they went from just like how many car things can we name to these awful. It's like wheeljack, ratchet, tires.
Skid mark.
Yeah, that is one.
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
It'd be funny if he was the one that like everybody hated.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Skid Mark's back in here. Don't sit over there. That's Skid Mark. I'm not eating lunch next to Skid Mark again.
That sounds like a really unfortunate high school nickname. Jeez. I mean,
In the Transformers commissary.
to be fair, G.I. Joe has terrible names too.
Yeah, that's true.
Autobot Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, what do you turn into? Disappointment. Way to be an optimist, Optimus.
That's what I when I was a kid, I didn't really have G.I. Joes. I didn't have Transformers. Just wasn't into either one. And I still don't really care about Transformers, but I do like G.I. Joe just because it is so funny.
Oh, it's so hilarious. Yeah. And some of the names get really crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It just Transformers just isn't as as out there funny as
They
G.I.
could have
Joe
pushed it
is.
further. Okay,
Yeah.
favorite G.I. Joe character name.
Snow Job.
I was going to say Snow Job's pretty great.
I mean,
Job's pretty great.
my favorite G.I. Joe is Shipwreck.
Well,
Is it
Shipwreck.
I mean,
yeah.
Shipwreck is the best.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when he dressed up as Cobra Commander and his parrot did the voice.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Oh, I do like the Baroness too.
Well,
She's very cool.
Well, yes, yeah, sure.
Like-
Chuckles was always funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Chuckles.
You remember that time that Sergeant Slaughter, the actual WWE wrestler, is
he
part
is
of
the G.I. Joe,
He's a
yeah.
G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the Refrigerator Perry, the
Oh,
football player.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bazooka that shot footballs.
G.I. Joe was weird. So weird.
See, but that's why I prefer it to Transformers, because it is weird and ridiculous and dumb.
I don't know, man.
I can't remember the fridge's first name. My brain went to
The-
Luke, but
the
the refrigerator Perry. My brain went to Luke, but I know that's not right.
No.
Luke Perry.
Luke Perry.
Luke the refrigerator Perry. Oh boy.
Catch him on Riverdale.
Yes.
Catch him because footballs.
Uh,
What else did I do before we ran out of time? Oh, I watched The Predator.
oh, I'm sorry.
It had its moments.
The new one, right?
Yeah.
Because the original one's Predator's pretty good.
Oh, I love Predator.
Yeah.
And I even love Predator too.
Yeah.
Mostly because I like the idea of doing his thing in the urban jungle versus the literal jungle. I mean, this one was kind of out there, kind of similar to how Predators was kind of out there.
Mm-hmm.
It does make a couple references to the original Predator film, Predator 2, and a visual reference from Alien vs. Predator.
Sure.
There's like a bunch of Predator artifacts in this lab or whatever, and one of the artifacts is the alien tail spear from Alien vs. Predator.
Yeah.
But Gary Busey's kid's in it.
Oh, Jake Busey?
Yes, Jake.
Yeah. Yeah.
He popped up. I was like, hey, it's that guy from Starship Troopers. I mean, it was, I don't know. I would say it was better than Predators, but
Yeah.
it definitely jumped the space shark a couple of times.
What do you think of the theory that the Super Predator had Arnold Schwarzenegger DNA from the first Predator movie spliced into him, and that's why he's so big and beefy?
I mean, I could probably maybe see it. I mean,
Because
he did.
just looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Predator,
Yeah.
basically.
I didn't like that thing.
Yeah, it's not great.
It's like, oh, he's got armor underneath his skin and blah, 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 and he can do things without a helmet. You can do the helmet.
It sounds like a 12-year-old's like
It's stupid.
Predator OC.
Oh, the worst part of it was, and I don't. Do you care if I spoil this part at the end?
Who cares? Go
So
for it.
the main guy of the movie eventually becomes the new head of this Predator organization or whatever, and they get this device that the regular Predator was trying to give them, I guess, to mankind anyway. It's called the Predator Killer, and it is
What a creative name.
right, and it's a weapon that grafts itself to a person that kind of makes them look like a predator, but it's just covered in lasers and guns.
and then he went on to make a reality TV show called To Catch a Predator.
Yeah, I need you to have a seat.
Just all right, well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break here, and when we come back, we'll get into a little bit of news. Have you ever listened to Nerd Overload and thought, I wonder how I could be a part of the Nerd Overload community?
Yes.
I have often wondered how I can contribute to this great community.
Well, now you can by going over to patreon.com/nerdoverload now. Over there, you can learn more about how you can help support the show, as well as info on some great perks of being part of the Nerd Overload community, like getting a shout out on the show. And speaking of which, we'd like to say thank you to Nicole M for backing the show. Again, you can check out patreon.com/nerdoverload now for more information on becoming part of the ever-growing Nerd Overload community.
Hey, we're back. That was the theme to Carmen Sandiego's performed by Rockapella
From the game show.
from that classic game show that I loved as a kid.
Yeah. That was a good game show. I liked it a lot.
Used to,
Yeah.
Oh, man, I wanted to be on it so bad.
Yeah, I always liked the chief, like
Oh, yeah.
Lynn Thigpen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was cool.
I wanted her to call me Gumshoe.
Yeah. All right, so hey, why did we play that song, other than it being awesome?
Because Netflix is producing a new animated series based on Carmen Sandiego, starring, was it Gina
Rodriguez,
I think, as Carmen Sandiego, and they released the trailer.
It looks good.
Yeah, it looks fun. I know, Josh, you had some things to say.
And well, the only negative thing I have to say about it is, why does she have to be a good thief? Why can't she just be a thief?
Yeah.
Be like a Lupin the Third kind of character.
Yeah, and I can see where you're coming from there.
see,
I mean,
yeah.
it seems like a stretch.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, the original Carmen Sandiego thing, she was like an antagonist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is like spinning it so she's the protagonist now. And I think,
she's like she's stealing from worse people.
Yeah, and if they're targeted this towards a certain age demographic, I could see why they would want to have a positive role model instead of a negative one.
I mean,
and
I
guess,
can see where you're going, because a lot of the hero characters in the show, they look kind of really young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. So this is definitely geared towards a younger audience, and I think that's the whole reason why she's become like a Robin Hood-esque character instead of just Carmen Sandiego. My question is this going to have the educational bent to it?
Yeah, because it didn't look like
it. Didn't look like it. It
but-
just looked like it was a straight, like, basically Aaron Esurance, but Carmen and Sandiego.
Man, I loved those,
Yeah, I
those
did too.
commercials.
Those
I
are
did
great
too. They were
commercials.
pretty great. Don't look up anything that artist does now, because he's
No.
taken back the property of Aaron Esurance, and he doesn't do good things with it.
No. I don't know. The animation looks solid.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
All the designs
All the
look-
designs are excellent.
Yeah.
Everything looks very clean.
The thing was, she would steal things that were like impossible to steal, like
Yeah.
entire landmarks.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like she's doing that.
No, she's
too.
just stealing like jewels and stuff from bad people.
And it's kind of an origin story too,
A little bit, yeah.
which doesn't thrill me terribly.
Yeah.
But I would give it I'd give an episode a watch though, even though it's probably for kids.
Yeah, I think it looks all right. I'm glad they modernized it without making it like overly like hip.
Yeah.
And not like actual hip, but like, what a bunch of older folks in a boardroom think is what the kids
Yeah,
like.
they didn't poochie it up.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And they added a character voiced by Finn Wolfhard that's like a kid at a computer that helps her. It's kind of a throwback to the game where you're a kid at a computer solving crimes. And the kid's name is Player, which is pretty clever. Or I don't know if clever is the word, but it's fun. It's fun.
It's a nice homage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I will
like it.
say though, like when I watched like the old game show, it was educative. I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Although none of it stuck because I don't remember anything from it, unfortunately.
I actually attribute to my ability to do really well with geography.
The extent of what I remember from that show is Rockapella and good luck, gumshoes.
I just remember kids carrying around those markers with sirens on the top.
Uh-huh.
Two
Oh.
different places on a giant map, but I
Yeah.
don't remember what those places were.
But there was also another Carmen Sandiego animated series in the 90s or early 2000s. I can't remember now.
That's right.
Where it was a brother and a sister working for an organization
It
trying
didn't last long.
trying to stop Carmen Sandiego from stealing literally like the Sphinx and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Like,
yeah.
I never caught it on television, but I remember they like spliced 3 episodes together into like a
Movie.
VHS movie or something like they used to
Yeah.
do with some shows. I remember
Yeah.
that.
I just remember seeing it as a kid and being like, this is so far off from what I enjoy out of the game show that I am not interested.
Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
I mean, it was,
It looked like one of those action shows where the toys would go straight to Big Lots.
Yes.
That's
like Mummies Alive,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I loved Mummies Alive though.
So speaking of trailers for cartoons that may or may not be within our like age demographic,
I feel like we do this a
there's-
lot.
Yeah. Apparently there's new Care Bears.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Care Bears unlock the magic.
Which sounds an awful lot like those
Those
famous ponies that
yeah.
everyone
Tolerates.
tolerates. Yeah.
Hey, listen, this is very much not for me. We sat and watched the trailer for it, and it's fine.
This
Care
looks
Bears.
like Care Bears.
Yeah,
I don't
Care
know.
Bears wasn't a thing that I watched as a kid. It was like
I don't know. I like the movie.
I didn't even watch the
I
movie.
haven't even seen it. Yeah, I have like no nostalgic dog in this race
Same here.
Or bear.
or bear.
Or,
yeah.
or lion. Or elephant. Yeah, the Care
The
Bear cousins.
Yeah.
The Care Bear cousins.
That's more about Care Bears that I know. I
Hey,
don't know
Lionheart was
any-
the best.
I don't know anything, but
yeah.
it looked like they're going to do an okay job. It's definitely for little kids. I mean, this is barely news.
Yeah. I mean, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Get out
with this one.
Get out. You go to jail. You were bad.
Oh, don't tell me not to make a pun, Mr. Pun Boy.
Yeah, that's how I know I can judge your pun.
Oh, I see. If it's a pun that you would make, it's okay. But if it's a pun that you wouldn't, then
yeah. I'm the punthority.
That's bad.
I know, right? I mean, it looks all right. The animation looks interesting.
I'm going to sound like one of those weird dudes on the internet that yells about things that they really shouldn't because they're too old to do. But it's starting to look a
lot like Christmas.
That art style that they're using in Care Bears looks an awful lot like the My Little Pony, and it looks relatively similar to some other like younger animated series kind of things.
It's kind of a dated look almost. Like we've kind of moved past that particular style in the past couple years.
Yeah, and so I don't want to say that it looks great. It looks passable. It looks okay.
The one thing that kind of bugged me a lot is a lot of the backgrounds looked pretty barren.
Oh
man, I wasn't even intending that one. Nailed it. So, I don't know. It just...
The only bad thing about it is it'll get all those weirdos online that complain every time they reboot a cartoon for kids.
And then they claim that it was their childhood that's getting stomped on.
You know
what? The reality is they didn't even watch the show because...
I don't know. Almost nobody talks about Care Bears. Like, you might see them randomly at a garage sale or something, but no one really talks about it. I can count on one.
I remember the toy before I remember the cartoon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that was the thing with She-Ra. Like, all these dudes complain about didn't watch She-Ra when they were kids.
Yeah.
Because it was, quote-unquote, for girls. You would have got made fun of for watching She-Ra
at the time, yeah.
And also, the new She-Ra's great, which we've said a million times before.
So good.
All right, guys, let's take a pause from the this topic and move on to another thing. I just wanted to say pause because I wanted to have one more pun. I'm not sorry about it.
Yeah, never be sorry for your puns.
Own
those puns.
That was barely a pun.
You keep drinking from the same well, buddy.
Oh, man.
You're going to get dysentery.
Guys, this is getting grisly. We got to move on.
It's unbearable.
So, speaking of toys...
Let's switch over to a polar opposite topic.
Dang it. That's cold. That's cold of you.
Before I start hibernating.
So anyway, Margo Robbie is attached to a toy-etic line of things.
Jizz now, yes.
Yes, the DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, designed to make those $20 action figures.
Yeah.
So anyway, Margo Robbie is slated to be Barbie in a live-action Barbie film from Mattel Films.
Why?
It could be funny.
It could be. That's very true.
I mean, those Barbie blogs that they had about a year ago were really good.
Yeah.
I really like those.
If you've ever watched that Barbie Life in the Dream House show that's on Netflix, I've seen clips and stuff from it, like floating around Twitter. It is actually legitimately pretty funny.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, this could work.
Yeah.
Margo Robbie's pretty great.
She's pretty great. Sure. Yeah. I'm sure she'll do a totally good job in the role.
I mean, it's Barbie.
It's Barbie. To make it work, they would have to lean way into like the almost self-aware style humor where like she references that she's a super scientist, fashion model, doctor.
Which is the kind of stuff they do in that Life in the Dream House show.
Yeah. See, if they go totally
female Buckaroo Banzai with it.
Yeah, just go completely. Yes, exactly. If Barbie were female Buckaroo Banzai, where she is rock star, super scientist, doctor, cowboy,
martial artist ninja,
yeah, veterinarian,
inventor. That's I mean,
there's
it. That would be the way to go.
There's just not a lot of information out there with it.
Yeah, there's been murmurings about a live action Barbie movie for a long time. For a while, it was Amy Schumer was attached to it.
Oh man,
yeah, that was a completely different studio too.
Which they dodged a bullet there. I feel like
kind of did. Yeah,
not to trash Amy Schumer on the show, but
she wouldn't have been right for the role. The thing that kind of raises an eyebrow for me is they mention very briefly a Mattel cinematic universe.
Well,
Kind of.
Mattel Films.
Yeah, Mattel
Studio.
opened a film studio to.
Companies like that open film studios because they're going to make a cinematic universe. That's
And I'm just like, are there enough Mattel toys out there to really make a cinematic universe anymore?
I don't know. I feel like it wasn't He-Man is Mattel.
He-Man was Mattel.
Was he?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Monster High is Mattel. But I can't see them. Actually,
I'm sorry.
no.
I'm thinking Bratz dolls are the ones that I hate.
Oh yeah, those
Oh,
are
they're
horrible.
awful.
Yeah.
Which I think
Their giant lips and their huge foreheads.
I can't remember if they're Mattel or not. I think they might have been at one time, and there was a big court case about it. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Who knows?
I don't think Mattel has as many licenses that are as
And that they used to.
that are as movieable as like a Hasbro.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I wish him the best of luck. I don't think it's going to work out. The cinematic universe. I'm sure the Barbie movie will be made, and I'm sure depending on how they take it, it could be fun.
Yeah, I could see a good summer dumb movie out of it.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as it's at least as good as the Barbie parts on the Toy Story movies.
Yeah, those were always really funny. Yeah.
Ken, such an idiot.
Hard to believe that's Michael Keaton.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Boy.
Oh man. Sorry, you said Michael Keaton. I'm like, I watched Beetlejuice for the first time in forever over the weekend.
Oh, super good.
Yeah, great movie. One of my
sitting there,
favorite
I'm like,
movies.
I'm sitting there, I'm watching it. I'm like, man, one, that is a really young, skinny Alec Baldwin. Which I forgot it was even him in that movie.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, how did they make a children's cartoon from this? It's like when
How
they
did
made
they make a children's cartoon
from
out
RoboCop.
of
I know.
RoboCop and Rambo? And,
I know.
Yeah.
Well,
Toxic-
a lot of puns actually.
Yeah.
The Toxic Crusader.
Yeah. Oh, Lionsgate's starting to work on. Apparently, there's a script now for
Toxic Avenger?
Toxic Avenger from Lionsgate.
Yeah. I mean, if anybody can do it all right, I guess it would be Lionsgate.
Trauma could have, but
Well, I know that, but I meant as far
it
as like
bothers me to see a Toxie movie not
come from Trauma.
come from Trauma. That's my only issue with it.
Do you think he's working on it though? Like working with them on it? I would imagine he is. Unless he
I
just
think he's too busy just horsing around on. He is in Lloyd Kaufman,
Yeah.
friend of the show, Lloyd Kaufman. I'm sure he's just too busy horsing around on Twitter to do like anything. That guy's on Twitter 24/7.
Well, he's got to be on there selling.
Yeah,
you know?
he's just constantly shuffling.
showman.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I remember reading that. I remember watching that one interview he had. And it was just like, man.
Or that one interview he had on this show.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, you want to get mad about The Watchmen for like 2 minutes?
Sure. That's easy.
Yeah, so HBO had like a sizzle reel during the Golden Globes. Golden Globes?
Yes, the
Yeah.
Golden Globes.
That had like very, very brief highlights
From a bunch of their shows.
from a bunch of their upcoming
Mostly
shows.
Game of Thrones.
Mostly Game of Thrones. There's some True Detective in there. There's some other stuff. But a couple of the shots was from their upcoming adaptation of Watchmen.
Which is it an adaptation or is it a continuation?
I don't know.
Or
I can't-
nobody knows.
I can't find anything.
If you didn't know what you were looking at, you wouldn't have known it was Watchmen.
Yeah, the only way you would know it was Watchmen is because they said Watchmen and they flashed a guy that looks kind of like Rorschach for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, which looked really bad.
That's it. All of the other imagery does not match up with
It
anything.
wasn't even like in a city. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't.
I've never seen or read Watchmen, which is something I will probably fix relatively soon.
Yeah, I'll let you borrow my copy. I'll just grab it today because it's good. You should read it. It's very good.
It's something I've been meaning to get to and just haven't done it.
Yeah,
I liked the Black Sails tie-in.
yeah. But the Watchmen TV series leads me to one of two conclusions. If it's a readaptation of the comic, it's not needed because one, the comic didn't need an adaptation in the first place, and two, the Zack Snyder version, even though he's kind of a hack, that movie is shot for shot, frame for frame, that comic book, and
Minus a few things, but yeah.
a couple of minor tweaks here and there, but for the most part, it is like
Oh yeah.
beat for beat that comic. And two, if this is a sequel or prequel to Watchmen, it's not needed because who cares? Watchmen
Yeah.
is a self-contained story that doesn't. It's like the Fifth Element. You don't need to know what happened in the past prior to the Fifth Element. You don't need to know
need
what
a
happened
sixth
to
element.
You don't need to know what happened to Lilu Multipass, Dallas, whatever her name.
It's pretty implied.
Yeah, well, sure. But like you don't need to know what they're doing 10 years down the road. So it's the same with Watchmen. Who cares?
Didn't they do like a comic? Wasn't there like an after Watchmen comic?
Yeah, they did a handful of them, and they were all bad. They're like 5 or 6 5-issue miniseries. There's like 15 or 16 total issues of before Watchmen or after Watchmen comics, and they're not good. The closest thing to a good Watchmen follow-up was in the DC Comics here within the last couple of years. Was in the DC Comics the last couple of years, Doomsday Clock, where they rolled in, which something I don't personally agree with, but the way they did it was kind of interesting. They rolled the Watchmen comic into mainstream DC continuity by saying that when Dr. Manhattan when he leaves
Mr.
Dr. Manhattan, he didn't go to medical school for 10 years to be called Mr. Manhattan. No, when Dr. Manhattan says as he's exiting the series, this universe bores me, I think I'm going to go create a new one. They have kind of said that he went on to create the DC universe. That's the one he started messing around with. And Doomsday Clock was him like tweaking things here and there, and Batman becoming like
aware
of, and the Flash going, things aren't right. This didn't used to be this way. And that was kind of a cool follow-up.
Yeah.
For what it was.
Which is weird, because, I guess, I don't know.
Mr. Manhattan sounds like a lounge singer that always has a Manhattan in his
name.
A few years ago, before all that, it was referenced in the Vertigo Lucifer comics that those deities created the DC universe.
Oh, yeah.
But, again, it's DC, and it's constantly changing.
Yeah. Well, if you read Green Lantern comics, the universe was created by 2 giant space hands that clapped the universe into existence,
which turns out to be Dr. Manhattan. So.
Yeah, right, true. Yeah.
Speaking of comics, this is out of nowhere, but I read the first issue of the Elvira Mistress of the Dark comic.
Oh yeah, how is it?
It's actually really fun.
Cool.
I thought it would be, kind of trash, but it was actually really fun. She falls into a coffin and goes back in time and hangs out with Mary Shelley.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, and runs around from a monster, Scooby-Doo-like. It's fun.
Oh, that's cool. Is this, does Elvira have anything to do with, the creation of the comic?
I don't know. I don't know if it's just a licensing thing or what, but it was a fun comic.
I mean, it would be cool if Cassandra Peterson had a little bit to do with the comic, because, I mean, she's a writer. She's a stand-up comic.
Also, she watches us every day.
Friend of the show. Picture in the audience. Picture in the office.
I mean, it might as well be an audience at this point.
Might as well. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was very much in her voice, like the quips and junk that Elvira says definitely sounds like Elvira.
Cool.
So
oh, that's cool. It's
worth checking out. It was like 99 cents on Amazon digitally.
So even better. That's the best. Yeah. That's like the perfect price for it.
They tease Edgar Allan Poe in the next issue, so...
Right. Hey, we're starting to run out a little low on time, so I want to get to a couple of these things real quick. We got to talk about the Fallout 76 rum.
Since Fallout 76 has been a staple of the past couple weeks, news-wise, all the things they've done wrong, well, they did another whoopsie.
They did another one, yeah. So apparently Bethesda, in an effort to kind of market their failing, awful trash fire of a game, Fallout 76, they sold some limited edition rum.
The $80 rum.
$80 bottles of rum that were in the shape of like the, it's like a pop bottle called Nuka-Cola. It's like the...
Which them marketing Nuka-Cola products is nothing new. They did
they do that.
They did with Fallout 4, they sold Nuka-Cola cola at Target and stuff.
But I really wanted one of those bottles, though.
Yeah, I did too.
But the ad for this rum, it showed a glass bottle with
what looked like a glass
bottle, like a really dark, really nice, like classy looking glass bottle that looked like the pop bottle design. What people got instead was a cheap plastic bottle that was wrapped in a plastic film to make it look like a dark glass that you would actually have to crack open in order to open it up. That's problem number one. Problem number two was a design flaw. That the bottle, in nicer made bottles, there's always like a little bit of a lip on the spout, so that when you pour it, it all gets to your glass. It doesn't go all over the place. This one didn't have that. So people were taking their $80 bottle of rum that they weren't happy with because it wasn't what was offered. But like, okay, I'm just gonna drink it because waste not, want not. Pour it out, and I guess it like went everywhere.
Just
like
dribbles
it
all
just
over
dribbles
the
all
place.
over the place. It's a big waste of time and money and energy.
So they can't design games or bottles.
It's like every
Or bags.
Yeah.
God, it's like every department of Bethesda all decided at once to go, just throw up their hands and go, you know what? We're taking some time off from this game.
Or just
this is
like-
our gimme.
These idiots will buy anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I just.
Now are they going to use the excuse they used for the bags and be like, there was a glass shortage?
We could not reach high demand for our $80 bottle of rum that dribbles everywhere and is made out of cheap plastic.
I am a big fan of saying that you don't buy liquor in plastic bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
It doesn't bode well.
It sounds like they dumped out a Orloff vodka.
Oh man, that's just basically paint thinner. I drank it once. It even makes a terrible screwdriver.
all right. And last thing that we have to talk about, this is barely like news, but we're going to talk about it because Smash Brothers. It's a popular
any
game.
Excuse to speculate about Smash Brothers, we'll take it.
Yeah. So, according to some people on internets, they claim that they have data mined like the
quote unquote inside sources.
Mhm. They found the list of DLC fighters for Smash Brothers, which are going to be they're supposed to be released throughout the year.
Yes.
This year.
Yeah, and if you're afraid of spoilers, I'm going to say don't be, because this doesn't sound legitimate to me at all.
I would say maybe 1/3 of this actually sounds legit, but
Yeah.
the rest of it is not. So, along with Piranha Plant, which we knew was coming, and I guess isn't technically part of the 5 DLC pack, because I think it's like its own separate
Yeah.
thing.
It was like a bonus thing.
It's like a bonus thing, yeah. But Joker from Persona 5,
Which they've announced.
which they've definitely announced. Some of the other characters that they're rumored to have added to the game include Erdrick from Dragon Quest.
Which should be in the game. It's ridiculous there's nothing Dragon Quest in it already, as important as that game is to Japan.
Yeah, he's that character's one of the more believable ones.
Yeah, especially since there's already a Square Enix guy in there in Cloud.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. There's also Ryu Hayabusa from Ninja Gaiden. This is the other one that I can believe.
Yeah, because Nintendo has a pretty close relationship with Koei Tecmo, who does Ninja Gaiden.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
and-
it was on the original Nintendo.
It was on the original
Yeah.
NES, and it's one of the when you think of original NES games, it's
yeah.
right up there with Castlevania.
It's
as
on
like-
the online service NES
Mhm.
thing. They just
Then-
added it, and it's still a good game.
And this is like its 30th anniversary or something like that this year.
Yeah.
So that one's almost a lock.
I can see
would
that
say.
one. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a very interesting pick, I don't think, but it's possible. It's a possible pick.
Yeah. Less likely pick is the Marine, also known as Doom Guy from Doom.
Or the Doom Slayer.
Doom Slayer. Yeah.
I would love this because I love Doom. Doom's one of my all-time favorite games.
Mhm.
But it just doesn't feel likely to me.
I don't.
I feel he's too angry for Smash.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't. Yeah. I don't see it. I really don't.
And he just has a bunch of guns, and I don't think they really particularly like that
Gun-
kind of moveset that's just a bunch of guns. I mean, they took away Snake. Snake doesn't have
Snake
guns.
doesn't have guns. Yeah. He has like bazookas and
Missiles.
stuff.
Yeah,
but-
missiles and bombs.
Yeah.
And
And
even though the Doom shotgun in Smash Brothers would be awesome,
yeah. Yeah. And
I just don't see it.
I don't either. The last one is probably the least likely is Steve, the main character from Minecraft.
Steve the Minecraft.
Minecraft Steve.
And for one, Minecraft's owned by Microsoft
Currently, yeah.
currently, which I mean it is a multi-platinum game, or not it is a multi-platinum game, but it's also a multi-platform game. So it's not totally out there, but I don't think so.
I don't see it.
He wouldn't have a very interesting moveset. It'd just be like
Axe.
Yeah.
and shovel
Which is the villager.
and slingshot or arrows, I guess.
Bow, yeah.
Bo. Maybe he could drop a block, but that would be weird.
Yeah.
Or
I don't
maybe
know.
his final smash could be summoning creepers.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, I don't like Minecraft though, so maybe I'm not the right person to judge. And
Same here, but
every kid in the world loves it, so I mean, it would be a big get, I suppose.
see, but the thing is, do kids still like Minecraft, or is
Yes.
it all
Yes.
about, or is it all
Yes.
about the Fortnites now?
No, they still play Minecraft.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If
Gotcha.
if Samantha's nieces and nephews are any indication, they're still very much into Minecraft.
Fair. Okay. All right.
I feel like Fortnite is an older kid thing,
Yeah.
like a preteen.
That's true.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. So, if it's not going to be Steve from Minecraft and Doom Guy, who do you think these last two are going to be? I have a theory about one of them.
Go for it.
This is a stretch. This is a weird one, but I actually think it might. This has some legs. Now, go with me. Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. So, the first thing you think is probably, oh god, that's hyper violent and not at all Smash Brothers like. But the way I'm looking at it is, Mortal Kombat 11 was announced for the Switch. This is the first Mortal Kombat game that's been on a Nintendo system since the GameCube, which is it's been a long time.
I mean, Mortal Kombat was on the Super Nintendo.
Right. Yeah. And of all the Mortal Kombat characters, Sub-Zero has the least bloody moveset, because instead of making people explode and catching them on fire and throwing spears through their chests, he just freezes them and slides around. And that could be transcribed to Smash Brothers a lot easier and cleaner than like Scorpion, who would like just impale you
Or like burn you to death with his flame
with
breath.
his weird skull
Although
face.
his get over here spear would work really well and be basically the same as Isabel's fishing pole.
It would, yeah. That would be cool. That would be
I
kinda cool.
it just dawned on me that's the same move basically.
It basically is. Yeah.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
It's just less adorable.
Yeah. But I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it fits with a new game releasing, and Mortal Kombat's kind of a big deal in the history of video
Games.
games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I've got another one.
Okay.
I think it's very likely it's Dana Plato's character from Night Trap.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. That's
No.
good. Yeah, no.
I don't know. You can't predict anything Nintendo is going to do.
You
That's
can't.
the main point. They do such off the wall things.
Piranha Plant.
There's no way you can tell.
Yeah. The only other thing I could think of is maybe an Undertale character.
And that'd be cool.
That'd be cool. Because
like Undertale.
it would be cool for them to have an indie game representation outside of Shovel Knight
Who's an
being
assist
an
trophy.
assist,
Yeah.
or Shantae being a sticker.
Shantae
or
would be a
spirit or
good
whatever.
character too.
Yeah,
but-
unfortunately, she's a spirit, and they've already said if you're a spirit,
Did
or-
they officially say that?
mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's why Waluigi's never going to be a playable character.
Because he's an assist trophy.
He's an assist trophy and he's a sticker. Yeah.
Hmm.
If they wanted to do more Nintendo characters, they could put Birdo in, or like Mario characters if they want one more.
Yeah, there's
Might
a
as well.
buttload of Mario characters they could
True.
go with, but there's
Yeah.
already a ton of Mario characters on the.
Yeah.
They could do something from Zelda that wasn't just a different version of Link.
Yeah. True.
You know, if they get Impa in there, like
Mhm.
the Skyward Sword Impa or
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Or Zant.
Sant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a whole roster of characters that.
They barely touched.
Yeah, well, they're in Hyrule Warriors. You can take their moves from there, and
Yep. Just transfer them right over.
yeah,
I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what kind of bugs me is the fact that we have a Toon Link, but we don't have a Tetra.
yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I'd even take Wind Waker Ganon or Ganondorf, or
That's-
at least a skin for him.
Yeah, Skin or Echo, because he's basically the same.
It's the same. Yeah, for the most part. All right. Well, hey, we have hit time, so let's go ahead and wrap things up. You've been listening to Nerd Overload. Thank you very much for tuning in. You can find us each and every day over at nerdoverload.com.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at Nerd Overload Now.
You can shoot us an email, staff@nerdoverload.com, and you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Nerd Overload TV.
That's right. We're also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, and just about anywhere else you can find a podcast. You can find this show And we also have t-shirts. bit.ly/nerdoverload-t. That's T-E-E.
Buy a shirt.
Buy a shirt. That'd
Buy
be great.
my shirt.
Yeah. All right. Again, thank you all for tuning in, and we will be back next week.
Peace out.